Welcome back to Small Business Talk. I'm your host, John Cruz. We have Miss Helen Clark and Mr. Scott Young here in the studio with us today, and we're talking about their business, and their business is called the Baby CUB. And if you just joined in, the Baby CUB is a garment that breastfeeding mothers would use to conceal the fact that they're breastfeeding. They could actually do it in public. And one of the things that you said, Helen, is that, you know, as soon as that new baby comes home and he's got that new baby smell and all the friends and family come over and he has to eat every 3 to 4 hours. You don't have to necessarily leave the room and discomfort the mother. She can do it right there in the room and not have, you know, anyone that's sort of weirded out if for lack of a better term, you know, if they don't want to see the mother doing that.
Yeah. I mean, the fun of having a child is to show off with
Absolutely.
family and friends, and when you go home and you want to sit with your family and friends and you have to leave the room to breastfeed, and if it's a new mum and a new baby, sometimes that can take a while. The breastfeeding process can take longer than some other mums can manage. And for instance, I have some folks in Canada who bought it, and the father-in-law of the mother said, "I'm so happy I got this because my son, when people were there, he would hold up a towel in front of her, you know, while she was breastfeeding, because she didn't want to leave the room and the conversation and everything that went along."
Certainly.
So that was just, he said it was amazing, the change. And she was more comfortable.
Certainly.
And baby was more relaxed because it took a while for her to feed her child.
You know, I think that it's sort of like when you, let's say that you use the use of an appendage. You know, if you hurt your right arm and you can't lift anything, you start to think about how often you use that right arm. So I could think about, you know, the everyday use of a vehicle, going out in public. I mean, you made a comment about how many different places that you may end up with a young baby. You know, church, being on an airplane, and you named a few others.
Yeah, exactly. And it's, you know, you never know when you'll need it.
Right.
Especially when you're breastfeeding, because babies aren't on schedules.
Right.
You know, 1 minute they could be hungry, and an hour from now, oh, he's hungry again, so I need to feed him. And that's one of the things that what we'd really like to do is, you know, get a couple of airlines to actually, like Southwest Airlines, for example, get them to go, you know what, let's put 2 of these on our planes. Let's not subjugate our possible breastfeeding mothers who are flying with us to using blankets.
Right.
Give them something a lot more protective and a lot more secure so they don't feel like they're being stared at. You know, in churches, for example, there's a church here in Houston that actually has them. And the parishioners that are breastfeeding will go pick one up before the service starts. They can sit in the service, they can breastfeed during the service, and then when the service is done, they turn it in.
Wow, I like that.
So there's a lot of, I mean, restaurants, there's another example, you know. So there's quite a few different avenues that we would like to get this into to be able to make a difference.
Well, let's talk about the price. Now what does a garment like this cost? If someone were to, you know, want to get one for a friend or a family member who's pregnant, what's the average cost of a Baby CUB?
Right now, they are $49.95.
Okay.
But we are in the process of getting those costs lowered.
Okay.
We have found a manufacturer that is going to be able to work with us with a bigger volume of orders, so those prices will be reflected.
So you're going to pass that cost savings
Exactly.
over to the purchasing public.
Exactly.
Now, where can someone get one?
You can go to www.thebabycub.com and purchase one online. And we're also on we have a Facebook page as well. Just search The Baby CUB on Facebook and give us a like. And once a month, we choose one new person and we give them a 50% discount on their first order.
Very nice, very nice. Now, is this a patent that you guys have on the garment?
We have a patent pending at the moment. You know, we've trademarked our logo and our name. But the most exciting thing for me as the designer of this is I want to reach every breastfeeding mother, no matter what her station in life is.
Certainly.
And that's why we're trying to lower the cost to get to the market, you know, the mass market, and to give women a choice to use what's out there at the moment, or would you prefer maximum coverage? There are hand openings in this garment, and this allows a mother to continue to use the telephone while she's breastfeeding. You know, if she's breast pumping at work, she can still do her emails. She has 2 hands free.
So the garment isn't restrictive in any way?
Absolutely not.
Not restrictive, and you know, hypothetically, without the hand opening, she's lifting her arms up, which would expose herself. But with this, the way it was designed, there's no exposure at all.
Wow. Now, what encouraged you to get behind your mother's design and really take this to the next level?
Actually, it was interesting. I had been through a little bout with cancer, and I was staying with my mom, and I was at a point in my life where I felt like I was looking for something. And she had always told me, you know, whatever you do, don't force anything in life. It will fall in your lap when you least expect it. And 2 days after she came back from the UK, I was sitting there and she came in and she said, I have an idea. And we took it from there. And it's been strange because everything that we have gone through, from the beginnings of it to the logo to being able to expand it the way we're doing right now, we never forced it. We just let it happen.
And it seems to be moving right along.
We have Nordstrom's interested.
Really?
Yes, we do.
And that's a good store to
we'll
have
a
interested.
meeting with them. But my main concern is to get to all mothers.
And I can tell that you have that level of passion
yeah.
that an entrepreneur really has to have for his or her product, and I can definitely see that you have that behind
It's important to me.
Certainly.
I'm a mother. I know what it feels like.
Right.
And my children, my goodness, nobody wants their kid ridiculed for breastfeeding. Come on.
Now, I got to ask, have you heard from Babies R Us?
Yes.
We did, but we haven't heard back from them.
Okay.
And one can only assume the wholesale cost was a little too high for what they were looking at.
Okay.
But when we get our cost numbers down, I plan on going back to everyone that kind of was like, let's just kind of back off. We'll show them.
Well, yeah, I tell you what, we may want to try to get you back in there. So if anybody's watching that's a buyer at Babies R Us or Nordstrom's, go ahead and get on board. This sounds like a great product, and I'm so glad that you two came in to talk about your business with us today.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Guys, I want to thank you for tuning in to Small Business Talk. I've been your host, John Cruz, and this is the place where we discuss the topics that inspire entrepreneurs from thought to action. Until we see each other again, be smart, be successful, and above all else, be in action, and I'll see you soon. Cut, and we'll just